Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is December 30th, 2025. It's likely the last show, the last STARCARD Podcast of the year. So this is our year in review, 2025. Start to our STARCARD Podcast. But in the meantime, let's get things going. I got 5 fun tarot cards for you. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right, welcome everybody. We're going to give you 5 cards for fun right now. Just a little something to get you going, a little message from the tarot world, no matter what time you're tuning into this broadcast, this STARCARD Podcast. And then this is our last day probably of Merry Breakaways 2025. The next show is probably going to be in 2026 in January. I'm not sure when. What I'm trying to say is I don't think we're going to have a show tomorrow, everybody. And then I kind of like this tree, so I'm leaving it out. I'm going to show you some other props from this past STARCARD Podcast year. But on this tree, if you've been tuning in, you might remember that I wrote some words on here, and now it's hard for me to read them, but it says rejuvenate. It says be precise. It says add your positive pursuits with embodying the end result. And then the equation leads to a new you. So since we're heading towards a new year, why not make plans to be precise about who the new you is? All right. I see we have some fans tuning in already. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. We're going to go right to the Robin Hood deck and get you 5 fun cards. A message for you right now. That's the truth, everybody. That's the King of Swords right there. Here we go. All right, Tarot World. You taught us a lot this year. Would you care to close out the year with 5 fun cards for everyone tuning in whenever they're tuning in, please? Thanks, Tarot World, for making me look good in 2025. In case you're new to STARCARD Podcast, I've only been throwing tarot cards since March. And we've had so much fun. I can't wait to recap for everyone what we learned in the last couple of months. But here are 5 cards for you, everybody. All right, that guy wanted to come out too. Did you see that? Here we go. I got the light the way I want it. Nice. All right. 5 cards on December 30th, 2025. Here comes your story, everybody. First up, it's the King of Wands. He's the guy that sees the big picture and he overcomes all obstacles. It may not be pretty, but he's going to get the job done. Nice. Well, maybe the King of Wands sees the big picture of this Ace of Cups, this beautiful new beginning. Not just, well, mainly emotionally. You know what? We're just going to have to go to the book on this one. Let's read up on the Ace of Cups. I've been seeing the Ace of Cups a lot. Lucky me, right? Okay, Ace of Cups. Dude, it's the end of the year. Listen to this. A time of new beginnings and new relationships, usually in terms of love. You will be feeling happy, positive, and good about yourself. This is a time of joy, compassion, celebration, and creativity. Now is a good time to begin new friendships and get out there and socialize. Nice. I almost want to see the star card show up after reading that. Well, let's see what else we got. Nice. The Queen of Wands is the determined, courageous lady who has a zest for life. I think I get where the message is coming. Oh, how beautiful. It's the Sun card. The Sun card says everything's going to be okay. Look at how much fun that baby is having riding into 2026. I know. You've heard me say this before. I want to stop right here. But anyway, the tarot card always serves up the righteous cards. Let's see what's next. And look, this card looks like he wants to talk to us too. Anyway, yeah. So, you know what? It's a combination of light and dark here. It's the Death card. It talks about endings and beginnings. Can you get much more end of the year than this? endings and beginnings, transformations. So if we look at the big message, okay, all together, the big message is that a brand new life filled with all the things that you enjoy is out there. Get out there and be determined and be courageous and have a zest for life. Everything's going to be okay, even as you end this year and move into the next one. Hey, everybody. That's why I love the tarot world. It makes it so easy for me to deliver a nice message. Oh, wait. Did this card say he wanted to talk to us? Wait a minute. Hey, everybody. 2026 is going to be a new beginning for everyone, says the Fool card. Get ready for your adventure and also watch your step. Thank you, Tarot World. That was exciting. Oh, yeah, I miss throwing cards, even when it's just a couple of days. Let me give these a shuffle. And then, here we go. Lights. Thanks for joining me. I see we have some friends watching the show right now. That's very exciting. I feel very supported. Thank you. So, growing up, you know, some of your favorite television shows would always have highlight shows at the end of the season so you could see what happened. It always looked like a cheesy way to write a television sitcom script. And now that's exactly what I'm going to do, everybody. I'm going to recap what we've learned at StarCard Podcast. I've got some of my props from this past year, bring back a lot of memories. And also it encourages people who are new to StarCard Podcast to go back into the channel. There are many playlists. I think there's like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. I don't know. We got a playlist with John Whitberg and Psychic Liz Cross. I've got the Tarotpedia, where you get all kinds of information that I've collected from the ether and from the tarot world. Lots of great replays. Go check it out. But let's recap for you who I am. I'm Breakaway Ray. I started throwing cards in March. I took lessons from Matthew Mournian, Mournian. You can find his channel, Remember Your Mission, at YouTube. I invite you to take a tarot card class if you have not. Even if you don't use it on a regular basis, it's still fascinating, and Matthew does a wonderful job. You really get a big bang for your buck, a great value for your dollar or whatever currency you're using when you do business with Matthew Mournian. He really gives it his all. So thank you, Matthew Mournian. Got to thank Rob Khalil over at the Typical Skeptic podcast. He's got a playlist at StarCard Podcast. Also, Rob Khalil, I'll just say, you know, I was in a life raft out on the ocean, and then Rob comes by with his gigantic boat and he throws me a lifesaver and he brought me on board. So thanks a lot, Rob. I'm wishing you a lot of luck in 2026. All right, so now we're going to go down to the tarot table again. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the other decks in play in case you want to request a reading. We're going to do audience tarot readings in the second part of the show, which is about 15 or 20 minutes. And so we'll look at the decks of cards that are available. If you want a reading in the second part of the show, please type in all capital letters, tarot, please. And then check my chat up at the top of the chat because I told you what decks are available. But I'm about to show them to you. And then we'll show you some props. And then we'll ask the tarot world what we've accomplished here in 2025. All right, so let's go downstairs again. Here we go. I hope everyone had a good holiday. I know it's not quite over. We've got couple of days left to celebrate. Let's keep it going. The tarot decks. All right. So I've got the classic tarot deck here. The one I like so much because it has the words on the card. You learn tarot in a hurry with cards like these. I just threw for you today. Oh, did I? Yeah, I used the Robin Wood. That's true. So I just threw for you today the Robin Wood tarot. And look, there's a picture of me all worn out from the year of 2025, but I got a lot of new wands. How does James Brown say it? Papa got a brand new bag. Okay, I've got the old style tarot. It combines imagery from two classic tarot decks like these and embellishes them and very dramatic. Got the Mermaid Tarot, very dramatic images. The Stained Glass Tarot, the Neon Tarot, the Ethereal Bloom Tarot. I really dig this one. That's why I always have it ready. I've got one called the Lost Soul Tarot. And then I've got the Gold Foil Tarot, which is just like the classic deck. You can see these cards have a little bit of a shine to them. All right. So I'm going to set these aside, but if you would like a reading later on, you can even request one of these decks. Okay. All right. So, I mean, I could just go down to the table and do it, but I think you guys are really in it to see how dressed up I am this early in the morning on the West Coast. So let's see if I can go like this. All right. What did we explore with tarot cards this year? Here we go. We explored hidden knowledge. So this is from the month of October, obviously, right? It's a pumpkin. We called it Sci-tober. That's in the STARCARD podcast playlist. Let's see what else we got here. Let's save that one. Other things that we talked about: Planet Vulcan, Planet Vesta. What? You didn't know there was a Planet Vesta? Check out the John Whitberg playlist. Planet Centurion. If this is all new to you, I invite you to catch up with StarCard Podcast. How about Planet Pluto? Should I have written Dwarf Planet Pluto? Planet Ceres. Someplace Tony Rodrigues probably doesn't want to go back to. And did you guys even know there was a Planet Ceres? I didn't. Till I was like more than 50 years old. What else have I got here? Oh, yeah. So this bunch of pumpkins came from one of my collections of thoughts. We talked about programming, mind control with a K. How can I do this? There we go. Mind control with a K. How about perpetual pollution on planet Earth? How about compartmentalized cosmos and consciousness? There's a whole bunch of planets we don't know about. There's a whole bunch of things we can do with our brain that we don't know about and nobody teaches us about. You thought it was all coincidences? Spooky ghost stuff? Okay. What about hijacked technology and brain drains? Now, hey, everybody, when I say brain drains, I'm still on planet Earth too. So evidently I'm not smart enough to go off planet. How about planned obsolescence and the throwaway society? I used to have a dryer from 1980. It lasted like 30 something years. And then, you know, the dryers, the appliances you buy nowadays, it's planned obsolescence. They break down like after a couple of years. They do the same thing with automobile design, right? They make sure that the car or whatever machine they're building breaks down. So you have to go out and buy a new one. Otherwise, you know, you're ruining your business, right? None of these things are like humanitarian or considering planet Earth. It's just about considering somebody's pocketbook. And, oh yeah, fenced commons, pay ransom for what belonged to us. Yeah, you guys like paying for energy? You like paying for anything like water? That's free. It's why do we have to pay for stuff that, you know, comes from planet Earth for free? Well, there's a long story behind that. And then I ask, how do you like them pumpkins? Okay, I'm not done, right? One of my favorite sentence strips this year has been this one. Yeah, metempsychosis. Sometimes, like when I'm talking about metempsychosis, I kind of like drag it through the screen like this. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Metempsychosis. If you're not into reincarnation, this is not the channel for you. But welcome, and I'm hoping you're having a good time anyway. Thanks for stopping in. What else have I got? I don't even know what geomancy is, but a couple of shows ago, we did a geomancy show. Check it out. We very briefly touched upon something called amor fati, which is Latin for love your fate. There you go. Love your fate. Okay. That's a concept that you can look up. I'm not going to explore it right now. I really want to, but I'm not going to. Okay. And then let's see. I got some messages from my grandparents, right? Accentuate the positive. It's easy to complain, everybody, but that doesn't solve no problems and it doesn't make you feel better. But if you accentuate the positive and you look for something to smile about, you know what? You're going to be better off that way. Think about it like when your kid skins their knee or they're upset about something. You console them, you help them to grieve, you help them to take care of themselves, and then you point to something to be happy about, right? Right. Okay. Another thing my grandparents used to say, be thankful for what you got. Well, my grandparents would say, be thankful for what you have. You know, they wouldn't speak in vernacular parlance like that. That's not correct grammar. But be thankful for what you got. Start right there. It doesn't matter what somebody else has. Be thankful for what you got. Here's another one I love from my grandparents. God helps those who help themselves. Are you sitting around watching TV wondering why the universe isn't providing for you? Get off the couch, turn off the TV, and do something. Go study the 12 laws of karma. Check my playlist, okay? And then act on those laws of karma. Change your life right now. Okay, one of my favorite ones, you know, and I want to say thank God I did. Save for a rainy day. Rainy days are all coming, everybody. So to close, am I closing? Oh, no, I'm not closing yet. Hang on. I got more. Yeah. So earlier in October, let's see what I got here. Wow. I'm still upset about this. We did a episode where I invited the tarot world to bring in the spirit of Babe Ruth. And of course, that episode was lost. I'm sorry that you can't recover it. And I'm sorry that I can't recover it. But it was a remarkable throw. It was very clear that these cards were all about Babe Ruth. And there was a lesson in there. There was a lesson in, you know, planning for your life before you come down. Sorry, that episode is gone. A lost episode. We also had another wonderful episode that got lost. I was on fire when I was presenting Salvador Dali, who I'm kind of an expert on. And then I was saying Salvador Dali, you know, versus Citizens United, which is a court decision here in the United States that basically means, you know, you could spend as much money you want on campaigns. Money is free speech. That's a big change in the United States. But anyway, that episode is lost, and we don't get to see the wonderful the wonderful way the tarot cards came out on that conversation. But because it is lost, it does mean that I'm probably going to give the Salvador Dali show another go someday. Yeah, I'm still mad about those lost episodes. Okay. Here's some other ones that we studied. Giordano Bruno, he's in the Taropedia. How about this guy? He's not in enough social studies books. Vice President Henry Wallace. We talked to him through the tarot cards. Mr. Manifest Destiny himself, James K. Polk. Oh, remember this one, everybody? Topsy the Elephant. We talked about it on 2 shows. Good. I think we did Charles Lindbergh too. The famous aviator. One of our first shows, we invited peacemakers Mahatma Gandhi and Bishop Desmond Tutu to come in and give us a pep talk. Dude, look at how much fun we've had. This is all in October. Get out of here. President James Monroe. President John Quincy Adams. Check out the Taropedia playlist, everybody. Oh, yeah. German propagandist and cinematographer, filmmaker Leni Riefenstahl. Wow. I think she was like in one of the shows with Topsy the Elephant. The Kurt Cobain show. That was like the beginning of it all for me. Did I actually throw cards for Nostradamus? That was a fun month. Sci-tober. Check it out. And then I think I'm going to close. I still have these things. These Post-it notes. Hang on. So many of you know I had a previous career in the classroom in elementary school. So I know if you recognize these, you know what these were for. So I'm going to quickly change my lines around and close with a joke before I go to the tarot cards. Let's see if I got this right. All right, everybody, try this joke out. Why did it take so long for the triangle to get home? Because he got on the wrong bus. And then to conclude, very grateful, by the way, to see so many people having a good time in the chat already. To conclude, we're going to go right back to Marcus Aurelius, the Roman orator and statesman, but we're going to go there backwards. So somebody I spotted on social media explained relief is really gratitude plus visualization. And that's part of the math formula for manifestation. So you start with gratitude and you add visualization and you imagine you are already relieved that whatever you needed is coming and it's on the way. Bam. Now you're already in the mindset to create that manifestation, to bring in that vibration. And then to finally close, gratitude is the parent of all virtues. If you're watching StarCard Podcast, I presume you have a lot of virtues because I feel it and I sense it, and you've contributed to a wonderful atmosphere in our StarCard Podcast chat room. So thank you very much. I am thankful for you viewers and subscribers. Thanks for your support. Thanks for helping me change my life. You guys really made a difference. All right. So now I'm going to go to the tarot deck and invite the tarot world to tell us what we've learned since March here at StarCard Podcast. What have we learned? What have we accomplished? All right, tarot world. What have we learned? What have we accomplished here at StarCard Podcast? A lot of people learned about tarot cards for the first time, including me. A lot of us have heard about historical figures for the first time since maybe school or even the 20th century or at all. And we've done lots of spiritual exploration, especially this month, talking about spirit guides. We were reading from my book, The Convoluted Autobiography, about my spiritual journey, the way it started out. Here's 5 more cards of fun, everybody. What did we learn, Tarot World, from the StarCard Podcast so far this year? What have we accomplished? Let's check it out. The 7 of Wands. Something was hidden or revealed. Somebody was getting away with something until Breakaway Ray turned on the camera and started calling it out. Nice. The Sun card says everything's going to be all right. We should just get a gander of that like we're looking at the sunrise. That is so pretty. Wow. Look at all those flowers growing. There's a lot of growth and light and a new beginning and an ethereal sky from the Ethereal Bloom deck. The clouds are parting to reveal the sun. The Page of Wands says that we have limitless potential. We're going to go to the book on this one. This is from the classic deck, the craft cards. Page of Wands. The Page of Wands. You feel fresh, cheerful, childlike, and full of energy. You are having bright ideas and new exciting plans. You are being creative, free-thinking, and fearless. You are finding your passion, making discoveries, investments, or advancements in life. Just be careful not to rush into things without considering the consequences. Hey, everybody, I think we're doing really good with this reading so far. The Knight of Swords. I think I'm going to go to the book for this one, too. Why? This one reminds me a little bit of the character Nebula from the Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy. She looks slightly mechanical, but is it? I think it is a she. And anyway, let's take a look at the Knight of Swords in the book. The Knight of Swords. You are ambitious and excellent at what you do, driven to success and present great leadership qualities. You are ready to jump in and seize the moment. You are a risk taker, exciting, forward-thinking, and adventurous. Just be careful with being impulsive or impatient. It could lead to hasty decisions. You are not afraid to go against the flow. You are like a champion or a warrior charging into battle. Both of these cards warned us not to rush into things, but that we should pursue things and have fun and be adventurous and be electrified. And the King of Swords says that's the truth. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it says about the King of Swords. Wow, we got a couple of swords in a row. You have mental clarity, intellectual power, and self-discipline. Your logical thought can be applied well in law enforcement, as a professional advisor, judge, or attorney. You are methodical and have ethics and integrity to judge situations with rational thinking. So, hey, everybody, I just complimented everyone and said that you have virtues. You are a virtuous crew. You are a virtuous audience. And here the King of Swords says, not only do you have mental clarity and self-discipline, but you are methodical and you have ethics and integrity. All right. I am proud to hang out with this crowd. So something was revealed. We threw some sunlight on it because sunlight is the best disinfectant. And now we all see where we're going and we're all enthused and electrified to pursue our goals. And we might as well because we got the truth on our side. And that's straight from the tarot world. How much truth do you want? Thank you, tarot world. What a wonderful message. I'm going to give these a toss. And we're going to go to audience readings. Hey, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. Why not? All right. Hang on. Stand by, everybody. Almost ready. Thanks for being patient. All right. I'm getting your trees out. So I recognize some people already in the chat. Let's see, I see Lisa Talcott. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Flixlove. Hi, Heavenly Cups. Hi, Julia Anchorhaven. Hey, God's Flow. Hey, Missing Time 420. Cool. Let's see. Hey, Melissa. Kimberly Bamford's here. Hi, Kimberly. Let me get my mouse. Hey, Christy Campbell's here. Hi, Christy. Thanks for coming out. Did I see Danica out here? I thought I did. Oh, I do. Hi, Danica. Here we go. All right, so I got Danica. You guys can't see that so well. There we go. I got Danny. You know what, Danica? I don't know if this is you or a different Danny, but I'll give you a new tree if it's not you. Hey, Ellum, LMAAB. I'm glad you showed up for the last show of the year. Thank you. God's Flow. That's a famous tree now. That tree got its own show. Okay. Flix Love. Gotcha. Okay. So, hey, Ellum, I just saw your message. I'm going to get to that. I'm going through some trees right now. Thank you. Hi, Kimberly. I saw your message. So I'm looking for your tree. Heavenly Cups, I got your tree. Lisa Talcott, yours. LMAAB. Well, I've got one for Christy Campbell. I don't know if she wants a reading yet, but I'm going to set it aside. Julia Anchorhaven. There you are, Kimberly Bamford. Gotcha. I'm going through just to see if there's any other trees I recognize, right? Hang on. All right, I got one for Jason in case he wants one. All right, so now I want to go through and more carefully check and make sure I've got the trees for all the people that want readings. Make sure I got their decks picked out. I apologize for the preparation, but once we get it all prepared, it goes quickly, right? So get my mouse out here. Oh, hello, Izzy. All right, let me make you a tree, Izzy. Yeah, we got time. I mean, we have time for everybody. I've got another appointment after the show, but yeah, we do have time. So I've got a reading for Izzy. Kimberly Bamford. Okay, Izzy, Kimberly Bamford. All right, LMAAB. I thought I had hers. Here we go. We're going to put that over there. Julia Anchorhaven. Here we go. Got it. Heavenly Cups. Old style. Got it. Okay. All right. So this is the pile that I'm going to go with, everybody. And then we'll get going with the readings. So I've got Izzy, LMAABB, Kimberly Bamford, Flix Love, Danny, Heavenly Cups, and Julia. And if I missed anyone, you have time to remind me. Please type it in the chat in all capital letters. We have lots of friends who help me out in case I miss somebody. There's plenty of time, everybody. But I'm going to start with LMAABB because I see her question. And while it's on my mind, I'm going to go for it. She's asking about, there's a relationship between the letter A and someone named Anna. Let's see what's going on. Okay, stand by, everybody. Here we go. All right. What's going on between A and Anna? All right, Tarot World, time for your expert surveillance skills. What's going on with A and Anna? This is going to be a helpful, constructive message for LMAABB, just to give LMAABB some clues. Step softly and give her a little clue about what's coming at her. Any positive, constructive messages, please, about A and Anna. A and Anna. What's going on with those two? What's going on with A and Anna? This message is for LMAABB. Here we go. All right. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm having fun. That's why I turn on the camera. Let's see what's happening. Hang on. I got the light I want. Think so. First up, it's justice. There's cause and effect. There's balance. There's even law involved. The Six of Wands, there's public recognition. This probably doesn't match up at all, but public recognition and justice. I'm thinking, are they going to go see the justice of the peace? Is there some kind of public recognition going on? Some kind of official union? The Eight of Swords says as much as you can imagine. The Seven of Wands says it might be hidden right now, but the Queen of Swords says you were right. So if you were thinking that there's some kind of really strong relationship going on there, I think it's going to be pronounced and obvious as much as you can imagine. Is it concealed right now? Yeah, you are correct about that. So the final message for you is the Four of Wands and the Empress. This is supposed to be a helpful message for you, LMAABB. So the Four of Wands talks about a homecoming and a celebration, and the Empress talks about being in the best possible position. So whatever the relationship is, whether it's hidden, whether you were right and you guessed it, it doesn't matter, because in the end, the situation, I say, looks good for you. Isn't that you right there? There must be a whole bunch of people waiting to come into your house, because the door isn't open yet. And maybe after this experience, you got a lot of positive things coming your way. Well, LMAABB, thanks for a great 2025. Thanks for joining me at StarCard Podcast. I appreciate all your challenging reading requests. Good luck in 2026. All right. Next up, Julia. I couldn't tell if Julia had a particular deck in mind, but I'm going to go ahead and throw her the Mermaid deck. Hey, you're welcome, LMAABB. Thank you. Oh, I see God's Flow is ready for a reading. Let me get his famous tree out. Here we go. We're going to put you in there, God's Flow. All right. And yay, I get to do an unboxing video the last day of 2025. Right. No reading tomorrow. Here we go. Let's get the exciting mermaid cards out for Julia Anchorhaven. You should all check out her channel, everybody. Mystical Wellness. I invite Julia to write the actual title. I don't want to butcher it. Put it in the chat so everyone knows. All right, Julia Anchorhaven. How about a fun, helpful message for Julia, please? That lady always has a busy day going on. These cards are for Julia. Hey, Julia, thanks for inviting me to read for you so many times this year. You gave me so much practice. And I want to thank Julia for having me on her program, her own podcast. I think I was on her show like 3 or 4 times. We had a good time when she invited John Whitberg to sit down with us, but we had a good time each time. Thanks, Julia. Here we go. These cards are for Julia. Tarot World's all ready for you, Julia. A fun, helpful message for Julia, please. Okay. These cards are for Julia. There we go. First up, wow. We have we have the Devil card. And you see that there's a mermaid trapped in a cage there. All right, but the Devil card talks about letting stuff go. But we might as well let 2025 go. It's in the books now. All the videos are done. Let's move on to 2026. Next up, it's the Knight of Swords. We just saw the Knight of Swords a moment ago, I think. Charge forward energetically. Defend yourself. Keep it going. Ride that wave. Oh, good. I just saw Salama. I'm glad. I do have your tree handy, Salama. Hang on, please, Julia. I don't want to forget Salama. I want to get her tree out. But we're doing good. The cards are... I'm going to use one of my 3 timeouts right now. I want to get Salama's tree out. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Is she at the beginning? There she is. Okay, Salama, I'm throwing you in the pile. All right, next up. So, Julia, the Devil card says, let it go and then ride the wave into 2026 because you have an Ace of Pentacles. Let's go to the book for the Ace of Pentacles. The time is coming for you to manifest your goals, achieve your dreams, and realize your potential. Financial new beginnings, career or business opportunities, investments, savings, prosperity, and manifestation are coming your way. All right. Good. That's good news. There's your light at the end of the tunnel, right? Next up, it's the 4 of Cups. I think I'm going to go to the book on this one, but I just want to point out, I totally agree with the mermaid. You know, she's ready to swim away. This guy's not paying attention to her. He deserves to be left alone on the beach. Anyway, look around, dude. Put down the bottle. Anyway, let's read about the 4 of Cups. Let's get it right for Julia here. There might be opportunities that you are turning down and offers that you are refusing. You can feel yearning and regret, and you might be focusing on the negative. Contemplate and meditate over this and reevaluate what is important to you. Realizing what makes you feel bored and unhappy and doing something about it can help you make a change for the better. Yeah, you have an Ace of Pentacles. You might as well go for it because the 7 of Cups says it's going to present a lot of opportunities. Not all opportunities are good, but you're going to have a lot of them. You're going to have a lot to choose from. And the final message includes the 2 of Wands and the 6 of Swords. Sweet. I like this message. The 2 of Wands says you have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You have the green light, go. And then the 6 of Swords talks about, wait a second. I think I might have to go to the book for this. 6 of Swords. Six of Swords, you are transitioning, progressing, moving into calmer waters. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So this 6 of Swords is you're being guided from rougher waters into calmer waters by a divine hand, by your spirit guide, for example. So, you know, you have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. And not only that, the universe is helping you. Okay. The universe is tugging you in the right direction. You are in concert with your higher self. And that's what the cards seem to tell me. So right on, Julia. Have another great year. Good luck in 2026. That's right, Julia. Right on. Well, you're welcome. I think your plan looks good already. Whatever you're doing, keep going and tinker with it. Well, I'm being armchair quarterback, right? It's your show. Go for it. Do what makes you happy. All right, next up. So I spotted Salama at another STARCARD podcast, and I want to make sure I ask the question correctly. And let's see if Salama can go along with this. Let me see. Hey, Salama. So I would like to throw two sets of cards for you. One being a set of cards that would say, let's stay in the business we're in. I understand that maybe the business is interrupted, as it were, right now. But if we stay in this business, how does that timeline take us? And if we tried another avenue, another path, where would that take us? So I feel like I've been listening to your concerns. I want to make my tarot throw more precise for you. Let's take a look at two paths, if that's okay with you. Okay? Oh, there we go, Salama. Okay, I see your message in the chat. Thank you. Let's give it a try. Because, I can only speak from my experience. Yeah. I'm right there with you, Salama. I can only speak from my experience. It feels like I spent a lot of time and money getting a bunch of educational degrees, and now it's not worth anything. So I got to totally start from scratch. So let's see if that's something you should consider also, because everything's changing. Makes me wonder if you're a solid person, you're totally reliable. It feels like we have something in common. You can always count on Salama, but now all of a sudden Salama needs to count on somebody. Guess what? We're going to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, Salama. Here we go. These cards are for Salama. This is staying in the same business. Staying in the same business. What does that look like for Salama, please? And now, finding a new path. That card wanted to come out. Finding a new path. Let's help Salama out, please. Thank you. All right, Salama. Again, it's for entertainment purposes only, but it'll give us some things to think about as we stroll into 2026 with grace and ease and style. All right, if we stay in the same path, whatever that path was, well, we start off with the Ten of Cups, which says it's a dream come true. Maybe that's the way it looked and the way it started. The Seven of Cups, there were a lot of opportunities involved. The Eight of Swords says, as much as you can imagine. There's some other words on here, but as much as you can imagine is my adverbial phrase for when I see this card. Let's see what the other two cards look like. The Page of Wands says that there's limitless perspective, inspiration, limitless potential, ideas, discovery, free spirit, exploration. Wow, it really does sound like a dream come true. Wow. So the Lover's card shows up. The Lover's card talks about the power of two together. Here, you know what? We're going to go to the Eight of Swords real quick, and then we'll jump back over here and see if I can figure out a message, okay? The Eight of Swords says negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, victim mentality, and entrapment. Salama, like I mentioned earlier, I invested a lot of time and energy into what I thought was a career that was going to be a dream come true, and it really was, and it really has been. But then the Lover's card pretty much showed up in my life. I realized the Lover's card talks about the power of two together. What do they want me to do this on YouTube? Is that what they? So the other tarot teachers I watch do. Okay, you put some clothes on there, guys. All right. So, but then the Lover's card may come in and say, you know what? That show is over. It was wonderful while it lasted. But the message is from the tarot world, you're being supported at the end. You're being guided to whatever the next timeline is. I think it accurately describes, the way you perceived your previous career. But I think the message is that there's going to be a change, or that at the very least, you are protected and the spirit world hears you. Your spirit guides are on your team. They're there. Let's go back downstairs, see the next timeline. I mean, that's a big deal when I see the Lover's card or the Two of Cups show up at the beginning or the end of a sentence. All right, Salama. Wow. Okay, check you out. You had the 10 of Cups, the Dreams Come True card at the beginning for this career. Now look at you go. You have the 9 of Cups, a wish come true. Okay, you're starting out the same way. However you started this one, it's starting the same way. It's a wish come true. Oh, you're going to get a new life. It's the Ace of Cups. Love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition. It even says new baby. I don't think that's in the prospects for you. Proposal and marriage. The Two of Swords talks about a crossroad coming up. You have to make a decision. You're ready for whatever decision needs to be made. You have the tools in your hand, but you don't have all the information yet. The blindfold is still on. But when you're just sitting down, you're just relaxed on the beach there. You're not worried about the waves hitting you in the back. Everything's cool. Everything's kosher. You're just waiting for the new information to come in so you can act on it and get that new life started, because it's going to be a wish come true. It's going to be a lot of work. Nobody likes starting from scratch. But the 10 of Wands does say burden, extra responsibility, hard work, and completion. Maybe. Well, let's see what the last card is. The Moon. You know, we have a big emphasis on intuition here. All right. There's a whole bunch of people who say this, like, if you don't follow your soul's path, obstacles are thrown your way to guide you down the right path. And it's supposed to be a path that comes to you with grace and ease. And I feel like intuition is indicating that you might have something less of a 3D type of a position in the future and more something to do with intuition and guidance. I mean, after all, you're tuned in to STARCARD podcast, and that's where some guy who wears a tie goes on the camera and talks about this stuff. I'm just some guy on the internet. I'm trying to help out, but it may require you to, shut down media, TV, radio, give yourself several hours of day of thought. You're probably already going through this. I hope you're writing in a journal, but there's a message here about illusion and mystery and the subconscious, and maybe there's an answer there for you. So I encourage you to write, whether you write songs or poetry, or even, just a journal about what you observe when you're sitting in the park on a park bench. Okay. Because, open up your inner self and see what your hand writes on the paper, and you might learn about yourself. But I want to wish you a lot of luck in 2026, Salama. I do invite you to contact me for a private reading using the email address in the description. And thank you very much for inviting me to read. Thanks for having confidence in me. I'm wishing you a lot of luck. All right, next up. Oh, okay. Thanks for your question, Salama. I'm kind of new to this too. So I wouldn't consider, she asked the question, what is a 3D position? What I'm doing right now is not a 3D real world thing. I'm dabbling in the mysterious and the intuitive, giving psychic readings, talking to people about organizing your life from the astral plane and from the outside of a regular job, working in a market, working in an office, building things, there's nothing wrong. For example, if you're a plumber or a construction worker, you're always going to have work. Okay. So that's a new trade, but you might be called to do something mysterious or intuitive to help others see where they need to go. You might be called to do your own podcast, especially if you speak more than one language. You're going to, double, triple, quadruple your audience. So that's kind of what I mean. Now, in case that's not the right idea, again, you might just come upon the idea like when you're sitting in meditation or you're taking a long walk. You've been walking for more than an hour. You've been alone with your thoughts without earbuds. And then all of a sudden, an idea comes to your mind to do this job. And you might think to yourself, well, that sounds kind of silly. It's not really what I was looking for. It might be a stepping stone. It could be something fun to do. I definitely need money in my pocket. I need food on my table. I need to pay rent. But I'm suggesting that maybe getting in touch with your higher self either is going to lead you into a spiritual position, a spiritual occupation, or your own self-conscious, your own subconscious, your own higher self is going to guide you to the right place. I can't believe, it's really hard for me to believe, I can't believe that good people like you, Salama, are going to be abandoned by the universe. I think the universe is trying to they gave you an Ace of Cups. They gave you a Nine of Cups. They gave you a 10 of Cups. They showed up themselves in the Lover's card. They're there. And like all of us, I include myself in this, we need to develop our parlance, our communication with our higher self and our spirit guides so we have a better idea what's going on. Okay, one more time, I invite you to have a good year, Salama. Do let me know how it goes. I invite you to email me. Thank you very much. I'm going to give your cards a toss and move on. Very good, Salama. Thanks for all your messages in the chat. None of my college degrees have anything to do with what I just talked about. All right. Let's see. Next up. Heavenly Cups. I think she likes the old style. So let's get the old style cards out for her. Heavenly Cups. Here we go. More unboxing. All right. I like leaving the blank card in with the old style just because when it shows up, it's a lot of fun. Here we go. All right. Heavenly Cups. That's someone else starting a channel out on another continent. Here we go. Oh, I see you, Flicks Love. Okay. Yeah, I do have your tree somewhere. I got quite a few readings to do, but everything's fine. I got plenty of time. That's right. I got plenty of time for my next appointment. Anyway, these cards are for Heavenly Cups. I'm glad she's feeling better. I think that card wanted to come out for you right there. So let's throw some cards for Heavenly Cups. Wonderful. End of the year messages for our friend Heavenly Cups. Thanks for tuning in, Heavenly Cups. Here we go. Another card here. This is for Heavenly. Let's throw one more. Heavenly Cups. First up, it's the Seven of Pentacles. It's the good farmer. He is really cultivating that plant, and those pentacles are growing really well. The Four of Cups talks about meditation and remembering to be grateful for everything that the universe gives us, which reminds me of that concept of amor fati, love your fate. Have you got things hard? Yeah, probably. You know anyone who's got anything easy? Because they're probably not expanding their consciousness very much. So, be grateful for all the obstacles, because as Marcus Aurelius says, the obstacle becomes the path. You're working really hard at it. Follow the path of grace and ease. Be grateful for what you got. And here comes the strength card that says exclamation point. And then I don't like to overlook the fact that the dangerous creature with the woman, they both look very comfortable with each other. They're probably quite telepathic. It indicates to me an ability to communicate to lots of different beings, maybe not even human beings. Then the King of Pentacles shows up with all his money and his wealth and his generosity. He's got everything under control. There's no financial Armageddon when this guy's around. He's totally got everything under control. Everyone's going to be all right. Enjoy the party. And then finally, after all that, the Three of Swords shows up and says there's going to be some heartache and pain. You were cultivating something and doing a wonderful job. And then the universe wants to remind you that there's even more that you could be grateful for. And there could be like some cashing in and some comfort, but you still might stub your toe. Like you might get a new house, but when you walk in the door, you might accidentally stub your toe. It's no big deal. But, on planet Earth, there's always going to be a little bit of pain because we don't have that stuff when we're outside of our bodies. Okay, we're kind of stuck with the magnetized spirit and soul that we got. And so, Justice and the Page of Cups. Awesome. So here's your confirmation, Heavenly Cups. I know you know what I'm talking about. The Page of Cups is the happy surprise guy, and the Justice card says, it's righteous and it's deserved. So there's some kind of happy surprise coming your way, and you deserve it, and the universe is providing it. because you deserve it, because you work so hard at it. You might even be remembering to be grateful for everything, and you practice amor fati in a major way. And that's why the universe recognizes this despite the obstacles and pain that you're going through. Well, Heavenly Cups, that was an interesting story for me to share. Thanks for inviting me to read. I wish you a lot of luck. I really appreciate your support. It made a difference for me. Hope it makes a difference for you. Here we go. Let's give these a toss, and we'll give Danny a throw. Yeah, you're welcome, Heavenly Cups. Hey, thanks for your message, God's Flow. I really do feel like I have enough time to squeeze everyone in. Ain't no big deal. But I'm not shy about giving God's Flow his own God's Flow show again. Anyway, let's go to Danny first. Danny, I have you down for the neon deck. I don't know if that's what you wanted. But if this is your same tree from before, I'm going to get the neon deck out for you. There we go. Oh, is it a her? Hey, God's Flow. All right. Yeah, you know, I can't tell everyone's pronouns in the chat. I don't even know what you guys look like usually. Thank you, God's Flow. All right, but these are for Danny. All right, we're ready for a nice, fun, helpful, positive message for 2026 for Danny, please. For Danica. Here we go. These are for Danica. Oh, wow. Danica. Here we go. These cards are for Danica. All right. Get 2 more cards for Danica. 1 more. All right. Hey, Danica, that's a great message. I'm glad to provide a reading. Here we go. For Danica, it's the King of Swords. We've been seeing this guy a lot today. Let's read about the King of Swords. I like seeing the King of Swords. That's good news. We are on the right track. King of Swords, you have mental clarity, intellectual power, and self-discipline. Your logical thought can be applied well in law enforcement, as a professional advisor, judge, or attorney. You are methodical and have ethics and integrity to judge situations with rational thinking. He's the judge. He's the cool judge. Temperance, balance. Right. I guess we can go to the book on that. The book is so good. Temperance. You are being invited to stabilize your energy, to learn to bring about balance, patience, and moderation in your life, and to allow the life force to flow through you without force or resistance. You should take the middle road, avoid extremes, and maintain a sense of calm, especially with the kids cooped up in the house during vacation. Then, wow, look at you go. The King of Pentacles shows up. You got 2 kings. I don't know if you live near Vegas or Atlantic City, but 2 kings, that's a strong hand. Well, let's read about the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, you are attracting wealth. You are good in business, grounded, stable, and a hard worker. Your hard work is paying off and you are reaching goals. You are seeing things through to the end and being proud of your achievements. You are enterprising, resourceful, principled, and emotionally and financially secure. Nice. And then you got the Temperance card in there too. This is like long-term, I don't need to worry about stuff. Yeah, I like it. What is this card again? Yeah, the King of Swords. Good work, Danica. Check you out. It's the Judgment card. It's 2025. We're letting go of 2025. We're bringing in 2026. Nice. Wow. And then the 4 of Wands shows up. It's a homecoming card. Hey, Danica, this is a really great reading. You know, you have truth on your side. You're balanced. You're financially set according to the tarot cards. you can afford to let go stuff that's not important anymore. I mean, even if it's valuable and wonderful and a precious memory, you don't need to keep it anymore. You got a new way to go. And not only that, you've got a homecoming going on. You're surrounded by family, and you might have like more happiness coming your way. Everyone's celebrating the position that you're in. And the last part of your message includes the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles. Wow. The 10 of Wands says that you worked really hard and the hard work is done. And the 9 of Pentacles says, now that you got your stocks all filled up, okay, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. So whatever that project is, whatever you want to go for, you're all ready to go. You got all your ducks in a row, Danica. Happy 2026. Thanks for joining StarCard Podcast. Good luck. Let's give these a shuffle and go to our next tree. Yay, it's Flixlove, and she wanted the gold foil deck. Hey, Danica, thanks for that feedback. I really appreciate that. It's nice of you to mention the city that you're from. If you've been following along, you might know I'm from New York City. All right, so let's get these aside and let's do another unboxing. The gold foil for Danica. Yeah, thanks very much, Danica. I'm glad I turned on the camera today. Here we go. Here comes the foil deck for our friend in Holland, Flixlove. Boy, talk about a longtime fan. Thanks a lot, Flixlove. Here we go. Here we go. We took care of Danica. All right, here we go. These cards are for Flixlove. Thank you, Tarot World. I know you want to tell Flixlove the next tarot adventure in her life. A fun, helpful, inspirational message for our friend Flixlove in Holland, please. Thank you. Flixlove in 2026. Flixlove 2026. There we go. All right, here we go, Flixlove. Let's see what happens. I'll get the light going here. First up, the Moon card, illusion, mystery, the subconscious. One of those dogs is wild and one of those dogs is domestic, and they both know to bark at the moon. Nice. The 10 of Pentacles shows up, talking about domestic bliss. Nice. The Page of Swords talks about a new way of communicating. That kind of reminds me a little bit of Holland. When you're standing on that hill before the sea, but then you're looking down on the land. Anyway, the Page of Swords talks about new ways of communicating. Speaking of swords, how about an Ace of Swords? There's a lot of truth. And then the Three of Cups shows up, and it's people celebrating and having a good time. The Moon is out, and there's an illusion. There's some mystery. The 10 of Pentacles, I'm going to have to go to the book on this one. The 10 of Cups, there is a sense of happiness, emotional and spiritual fulfillment, harmony and alignment in your relationships. Happy families, domestic bliss, divine love, long-term relationships, soulmates, and true contentment describe your life right now. Sounds like you've been having a happy holidays, and it's been satisfying even in a subconscious way. Maybe your heart is really satisfied. And then you have a new way of communicating, a new truth to communicate, and people are going to celebrate that, Flixlove, in 2026. That's why you also get a Page of Cups, a happy surprise. And the Hierophant says that there's learning involved. Maybe you're teaching, maybe there's more learning for you, but the happy surprise is on the way, Flixlove. That looked like a fun reading to me. Thanks for everything, Flixlove. I see you have some questions. if you want me to try to clarify. So I'm guessing that the happy surprise might be for the people that you teach, or the happy surprise might be something's coming your way that you learn about, and then you're able to take that and make it your niche, Niche. And yeah, life is a mystery, isn't it? Okay, let's see who's next for a tarot reading. I'm going to bring up Izzy now. Hi, Izzy. I don't know if you're still there, but we're going to do your reading next. I'm going to give these a toss. Hey, I like that comment that you wrote there, Flixlove. Yes, ahead of my time. Right. That's kind of what I like about tarot cards, and finding like something that no one else has found yet. I mean, why repeat what everyone else has already said? Anyway, we're going to throw some cards for Izzy. I'm sorry, Izzy, if I lost track of what your precise, specific question might be, but the tarot world knows what you need to hear, Izzy. So let's throw some cards for you. These cards are for Izzy. We're going to send a positive, helpful message for Izzy this 2026. Have a great new year, Izzy. Here we go. These cards are for Izzy. Here we go, Izzy. Wow, I got like no place to put all my decks of cards. Here we go. First up, oh, the Empress. You're styling, Izzy. You have abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, evolution, and action. We caught you at a good time. You've had your coffee. You're ready for business. You're ready to take calls. You're all set, Izzy. The Knight of Wands says that you should continue with enthusiasm. Charge forward. Da-na-na-na-na. The Knight of Wands, energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless, impulsiveness. I should see the Nine of Pentacles coming up, because if you're sitting pretty and they're saying go for it, you must be all set to go. You are all set to go. The Two of Wands says you have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You have the green light, go. Let's see what else it says on the card. Planning, progress, making decisions, discovery, leaving home, and even travel plans. Oh, are you going to take a trip? You got some time off? I don't know, Izzy. Wow. The High Priestess shows up. Do you have a plan to pursue the subconscious and your higher self and learn more about the spirit world? Is that what's going on? The High Priestess is the High Priestess is a special card. The High Priestess, intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. I heard divine feminine 2 times, Izzy. I don't know if that represents you or maybe someone in your life, but right on. You've got a divine feminine. I wouldn't let that lady go. Oh. And then once you consult with the divine feminine, the Tower card shows up and says, the world's going to come down. Let's see what it says here. Sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation. You're sitting around comfortable and you're going to go for it because you got a good plan. And then all of a sudden you realize that there's some things in your life that are not necessary anymore and you can move on. The Three of Pentacles says that there's going to be collaboration and teamwork, maybe even with the spirit world. Maybe you are already in collaboration with the spirit world, Izzy. And then you're going to get things to grow. There's the Seven of Pentacles. He talks about having a long-term view and doing some hard work. So you're sitting pretty and you're ready to charge. You got a good plan. The universe approves of it. And the universe is pretty much holding your hand while the things of the past fall away. You're on a good team with the spirit world and you're going to get things to grow together. Hey, Izzy, thanks for inviting me to read. I hope that was helpful. It was definitely entertaining for me. Good luck in 2026, Izzy. I'm going to give these a toss. And we have Kimberly Bamford on deck. Hi, Izzy. thank you for letting me know that information. I'm trying my best. I appreciate the personal information people are sharing with me. Thanks, Izzy. Yeah, you are the female. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Now I get it. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah, those are some female heavy cards there. All right, we're going to go with Kimberly Bamford now. And I don't want to mess around. I'm using the cards with the words on them for Kimberly Bamford. She's a keyboard warrior. I want to do a good job. I think these two cards are waiting for you. Here we go. Hey, you're welcome, Flix Love. I appreciate all your support, Flix Love. Thanks a lot. But these cards are for Kimberly Bamford. We always have a good time with Kimberly Bamford. All right, Kimberly. The Queen of Pentacles. This is the working parent. I'll read it for you. Nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. You're like doing the job of both parents, right? Bringing home the bacon and being the caretaker, whichever gender, right? You can go both ways. So the Two of Swords talks about a crossroads, a decision coming up, difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, and deadlock. Next up, wow. I wonder if we have a lot of things on our mind, Kimberly Bamford. The Four of Cups talks about meditation, contemplation, reevaluation. Wow. Then the Seven of Swords shows up and says something's hidden. The Seven of Swords talks about betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting strategically, and trickery. Well, I don't know if someone thinks they're getting away with something, but this could also talk about acting strategically. Like when you get the information that you need, okay, then you're ready to move forward. You're going to act strategically. Yay. Because you've got the Nine of Pentacles going on for you. The Nine of Pentacles, fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. Self-sufficiency, financial independence. Look at these two ladies. It's the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles becomes the Queen of Pentacles. They're the working parents. Okay. So you're a working parent. There's a decision coming. You're going to have to give it some thought, and you're going to have to act strategically in order to make good use of your pentacles. And then at the end, you see you have the Page of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles talks about balancing things, having more than one thing that you're paying attention to. And the Page of Wands talks about inspiration, ideas, discovery, and limitless potential. Oh, wow. Limitless potential. I'm surprised you don't see the Seven of Cups. Limitless potential. You're all excited about new discoveries, and you may have more than one going on. Well, Kimberly, I hope the messages were helpful and some of it meant something to you. If it was at least entertaining, then I feel like I did my job. Happy 2026 to you. Oh, I got a message from Andrea. Hey, Andrea, 54 Hector. I know I still have your tree. One moment, please. Yeah, you're welcome, Izzy. And I'm going to find Andrea 54 Hector's tree so we can get a reading there. And I know I still have that tree. One moment, please. Not that pile. There we go. You're right on the top of my pile. Andrea 54 Hector. Okay. So why don't we give, because God's Flow volunteered to go last. So why don't we give Andrea hers? All right, Andrea 54. You're welcome, Andrea 54 Hector. So I believe I have Andrea 54 Hector and then God's Flow. I'm not sure if I have anyone else, but hey, everybody, there's still time to put your message in the chat. One second. All right, just checking something out there. Andrea 54 Hector, let's get you a nice message here at the end of 2025 to carry us into 2026, please. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for joining me this morning. Remember, I'm going to see you in January. I don't think there's going to be a show tomorrow. All right. These cards are for Andrea, 54 Hector. A fun, helpful, inspirational message for 2026, please. There we go. Andrea, 54 Hector. Here we go, Andrea, 54. First up, it's the Six of Cups. It's the Happy Memories card. Okay. So I see your message there, Andrea, 54 Hector. The tarot world knew what was on your mind. So let's look at these cards with that prism of who's coming towards you in 2026. So the Six of Cups says familiarity, childhood memories, nostalgia, reminiscing. Wow. And the Ten of Cups says it's a dream come true. Divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. Wow. The Five of Pentacles. Well, the good news is that this is the end of 2025. We see these poor, forlorn figures walking through the snowy streets, but at least they have each other. The Five of Pentacles, financial loss, lack of mindset, loss, isolation, worry. It even says need, poverty, and insecurity. That's an odd card to show up right now, right? Let's see the rest of the sentence. Ooh, the Ace of Pentacles. Abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, prosperity. And then the Nine of Swords. What a roller coaster. Geez. The Nine of Swords talks about sleepless nights and anxiety. Hang on a second here. Who's coming at you in 2026? It might be someone familiar to you. It's going to feel like a dream come true. And despite the hard times, you're going to see the opportunity that the Ace of Pentacles represents. And these sleepless nights are going to be restful after that. You have to recognize the Ace of Pentacles to make it happen. You have to recognize that familiar face around you to make this dream come true. Because there is something familiar. There's something familiar, something about the family or your past that's pointing you in the direction of this Ace of Pentacles and getting past the tough times. I don't know, everybody. Did I just throw these two cards before? The same two cards? It's the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands. They're both messenger cards. One saying that there is limitless potential, excitement, discovery, and it also says that there's a happy surprise. So who's coming at you in 2026? Don't limit yourself. It could be anybody, including someone you know, but there's a promise of a dream come true and an Ace of Pentacles. So just remember to be pleasantly surprised because you're not going to see this coming. Anyway, Andrea 54, I hope that was a good message. Thanks for inviting me to read. I appreciate your support this year. I learned a lot from you. Okay. Am I really done to my last one? I'm going to throw for God's Flow. Really appreciate her support here at STARCARD Podcast. Let me give these a toss. And I'm going to go with, here we go. God's Flow. These cards are for you. And then, yeah, it's a long show, but I think we're done after God's Flow. Thanks, everyone, for joining me this year. And these cards for God's Flow. These cards for God's Flow. These cards for God's Flow. A fun, helpful message for God's Flow, please. She's so easy to get along with. She goes with the flow. Always having fun at STARCARD Podcast. Thanks, God's Flow. Yeah, thank you, Julie. I appreciate your message. I mean, everyone's showing up for me. Come on. And then just to follow up with, let me do this before I get to God's Flow. Hi, Andrea, 54 Hector. My training is in education. I barely have any training in tarot, but in case I can follow up, I invite you to use my email address. Maybe we can set up a time where I can throw some cards for you. I'm not saying I have any kind of expertise in whatever the situation is, but if I can help out and give you something else to think about and make you feel better, connect with me, and I'll see if I can throw some cards for you. All right, let's go back down now and follow up with God's Flow. It ought to be a good one. God's Flow always brings good energy to StarCard Podcast. First up, the Ace of Swords. That's the truth. The Page of Cups. It's a happy surprise. The Two of Cups. There's great communication going on. Could even be a message from the spirit world. The King of Swords talks about more truth. Got the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords. And the Queen of Cups. Ooh, the Queen of Cups. I'm going to read about the Queen of Cups as soon as I find out where I put my book. Here it is, the Queen of Cups. Emotional stability, femininity, love, and warmth surround you. There might be a mature female in your life who is supportive and caring towards you, or you might be a sensitive, caring, nurturing soul yourself, an empath or a good mother. You are intuitive, in the flow, a daydreamer, a psychic, and a good listener. Yeah, God's Flow. It actually says in the flow in that book. Where is it? It actually says in the flow. All right. So the tarot world knows what's going on. You follow the truth, and there will be a pleasant surprise for you. It does involve communicating with other people, maybe the spirit world, because again, you're connected to the truth. And the Queen of Cups says you're in the flow. And the final message is, yeah, we're going to stop right there. The Three of Pentacles talks about collaboration, even with the spirit world and your spirit guides. And the Star card says that you're being rejuvenated. Yeah, that's right. Every time I see you, God's Flow, in the chat or watching some Star Card podcast, you're always chipper and looking at the bright side of things and feeling rejuvenated and sharing that vibration with everybody. So I'm very happy to read to you about the Star card to close out 2025. Let's read about the Star card. The Star. You are likely to find yourself feeling inspired. You have renewed hope and faith and a sense of being truly blessed by the universe. You are entering a peaceful, loving phase in your life filled with calm energy and personal growth. And I hope everybody feels the way the Star card feels, filled with hope and inspired for the new year. Thanks for joining me at Star Card Podcast this year. You helped change my life. I'm glad to be a part of yours. Thanks for welcoming me into your home. I don't take it for granted. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you in January 2026. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Happy New Year.